So here I am. It's been a lot of things this morning. What else is new? I don't want to complain. I want to kind of jump in. So I made this announcement about this 6 month project that I'm about to embark upon. Well, I've embarked. Today is day one. And what I wanted to do was basically kind of lay out my process with you guys in that I use when I have an idea for something, I don't just go, "Oh, I want to blah blah blah, whatever it is, I want to plant a garden," and then I just go plant a garden. Like I my brain works in a way that I have to have the big picture, like what I'm trying to accomplish, and then I need to break it down into steps. And truth be told, last night I just had a bout of insomnia because I kept thinking, like, how should I do this? And who's going to care? And are people going to care about what I'm doing? And all the things, right? So, I decided that what I was going to do for day one is share my process with you so that not only can I set myself up for success, but maybe somebody watching will pick up a tip here and there. And if you're just tuning in and you don't know who I am, which you should because you're on one of my pages, but if you don't, I'm Marci Geller. I'm a veteran musician, meaning that I wasn't in the military, but that I've been doing this forever. I've been creating music, I've been touring, I've been placing songs in sync, I've been placing songs with other artists for my entire adulthood. And um, right after, well, COVID kind of blew up everybody's life, right, in this weird way because of the quarantine. But it also proceeded to lead into a lot of stuff in my personal life, like, losing both of my parents and my father in law and having to go through this whole, all the things you have to do when you lose the people in your life that need to be taken care of. But that's not what this is about. Oh, hey, David. This is about now. I've been feeling like I've sort of been, what's the right word? Like almost like stuttering in my life. Like I've got stuff going on, but I get distracted and then I have to like kind of start it all over again. And honestly, what sort of inspired this was that I took a week off. I didn't really take a week off. Like I stopped doing my live streams. I stopped posting on social media. And I just decided to really give some thought to my life and what I need to feel good in my life right now. Because there's a lot of things that are stressing me out. The big one is money. I don't want to get too personal, but let's just say I'm stressed out about money and I'm not bringing in the income that I really need to cover my end of my partnership with my husband. But I also know that there have been so many times in my life where I have just gotten some steam going and gotten things happening, and then there was always something that pulled me off track. And a lot of times it was like a day job, like, oh, this is really easy and flexible and you can do it from home. And yeah, it brought money in, but it took me away. And then I wound up having to like figure out like where the hell was I again and what was I doing and what was I close to getting done. Hey, James, good to see you. And then kind of start it all out over again. So during this past week, I recalled this conversation that I had with somebody many years ago on my 50th birthday. I mean, it wasn't like, decades ago, but it was quite a while ago. And, she said to me that she had reached a point where she was doing the same thing. She was doing the hustle, she was working the day job and trying to get stuff happening with her music. And it just wasn't because she was so distracted. She'd come home from work fully depleted, which is how I've always felt every time I have a day job. And, you know, and at the end of the day, like the clock keeps ticking. You're like, when am I going to make my life work, right? So she went to her parents and asked them if they would float her for 6 months. And if at the end of 6 months, nothing was sticking, nothing was going on, she would never ask them for another penny again. And of course, right before the 6 months ended, she got a huge placement with a huge artist, and it basically catapulted her career. So I said, what would happen if I gave myself a 6 month timeline? And I thought of three things that would, if any one of them happened, would feel like, well, number one, it would give me some sense of validity, like, okay, I should definitely keep doing this. And secondly, would create some income so I would stop stressing about money. And thirdly, it would put me on a path that makes sense, right? So I came up with three goals. And like I said, any one of them would be acceptable. The first goal I came up with was, I'd love to place a song with another artist, somebody bigger than me, because that would serve a lot of purposes. It would be validating because other people would hear my song, and it would bring in money. So, finances. I mean, probably because of the way the industry is, pennies, but more pennies than I have now. So, that was goal one. Goal two was placing a song in what they call sync. And it's not sync like where you wash dishes, SINK. It's spelled SYNCH, and it refers to synchronization. It's when a songwriter places a song in a television show or a movie. I've done this my whole career, and I've had many, 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 many placements. But the company that was getting the majority of my placements got bought by a bigger company, and what used to be, hundreds, sometimes over $1,000 in checks that I would receive, I could show you. It's like I get 33 cents now. So I need to re-energize that aspect. If I got a really juicy sync placement, and it's not as easy as like, oh, I'm just going to put my music out there. No, that's not how it works. So that's one of the things I have as a goal, and I'm going to show you the process, how I'm going to break down each one of these goals, just in case you're a creative person or you're a person who needs help organizing your thoughts for any kind of project. Okay. And then the third goal was, well, like I need to build my Patreon because that's my consistent income at this point, and it's small and intimate and beautiful. I want to keep it intimate, but I'd like to grow it bigger because that again would be a source of some sense of financial security. So any one of the goals or all three would be awesome. If I accomplish any one of them, I'm not going to stop the 6 month project. I'm still going to keep going to see if I could get all of the goals achieved, but also have this like workflow that sort of translates into this is my life now. Okay, so that's the setup. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this over because I don't need to see me face. And I'm going to, well, before I do that, I have to put you here. I'm going to switch to a screen share. So, and I'm going to share, this is really personal stuff. This is, this is where I organize my life, and I'm going to share it with you. So hold on one second. Okay. This is an app that I use called OpusOne. It's based on Franklin Covey, if you're old, you may have heard of it before. Franklin Covey was this like organization system, right? And it involved this gigantic binder that some of us who learned Franklin Covey see. One of the benefits of having many, many, many day jobs, I've probably done every day job you can possibly fathom, was that I was enrolled in a course to train me on the Franklin Covey method. And so, yada, yada. Franklin Covey, I don't even know if it exists anymore, but Opus One sort of adopted their culture. Okay. So, my daily thing is here. These are my daily tasks. And I can show you, like, these are the things that I've already done. I mean, things that, I've already, like, made the bed and, put the dishes out of the drain board, and I've journaled, and I ordered new septic tank pellets because I added a pellet to the septic tank because it's the first one. Things you didn't need to know about me, right? But these are things that I still am going to do today. Actually, I already vocalized and I rehearsed, and I'm currently drinking my morning coffee. So, but this is really where I want to focus, which is goals. Okay. So, one of the things that I decided if I was going to embark on a 6 month non distracted 6 months was that I was going to start trying to figure out how to save money in tech. And so I decided I was going to finally leave MailChimp. Shh, don't tell them. And migrate my mailing list over to MailerLite because it's going to save me, I think I figured out, close to $400 a year in costs. And, when you break that down monthly, it might not sound like a lot, but when you're giving yourself 6 months and you don't want to stress about money, these little things add up. So this is one of my goals. And let me take you into it. I mean, here are all my daily tasks that I've accomplished. I start out with master tasks, and then some of them have subtasks, and checklists, you can see here. And then they become daily tasks when I schedule them. Okay. So that's how a goal looks. I'm going to create a new goal today. Even though this migration is part of my 6 month plan, I'm going to keep it separate because it will just make my brain explode. So I'm going to set a new goal, and I'm going to call it 6 month project. That's going to be the name of this. And I'm going to hit this little arrow. And it is music, but it's not making, well, kind of is making music. I'm going to leave it as a music category. Hold on one second. Taking a shot of adrenaline there in my coffee. Here's the thing. It gives you this option to apply specific things. And so this is where maybe I'll put my three, I'm going to say, accomplish one or all of my three goals, which is 1, artist placement, 2 is sync placement, and 3 is grow Patreon membership. Oops. I'm a bad typer. Okay. So that's specific. And then measurable. I'm not going to even bother with this stuff. And what's achievable? It's all achievable and it's all measurable, but I'm not going to get that granular because honestly, that's not important to me. What's important to me is starting this, breaking it down, and seeing what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go to master tasks, and the start date is today. No, start date is 7/1. Okay. Oh, yeah, that is 7/1. Okay. And the due date is going to be, whoops, November 30th. I just got like a little jolt in my chest. Just like even putting the due date like made me a little fluttery because it makes it feel more real. Okay, I'm not going to get all emotional. I know you guys know I'm a pretty emotional person sometimes. Okay, so here are master tasks. So I'm going to make, place song with artist a master task. And then I'm going to break it down. But let's just get the master tasks and then I'll break them down. Okay, so um, get sync placement. Boy, I'm a bad typist. I can't spell either. Sunch. No, sync. Get sync placement. Okay, and then the last master task is grow Patreon membership. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with sync placement because that I've done the most and I kind of know what I need to do. Like I need to like wake it up because my whole contact list and the people I've worked with in the past probably don't even remember who I am anymore. So I'm going to create subtasks. I'm not going to make them daily because can I make it? Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure it's still no. Is it still a subtask? It is. I just want to make sure it's still a subtask, but also a master task because daily tasks put a date on it. And when I go back to today in my, my daily task, there'll be like 5,000 things and it'll make my head explode. Okay. So one of the things I need to do in order to get a sync placement, well, I'm just going to randomly put things out. I'm not going to like prioritize yet. I want to just put out all the ideas. So I'm going to research new libraries. Libraries are places where they take all or many of your songs, they put them in their library and then they pitch. Or they have music supervisors that they work with that have access to their library. So I'm going to just research new libraries. I'm going to follow up with Rex about sync agents. I have a wonderful Facebook friend who discovered me years ago. I don't know how. He's just one of these guys. He's a publisher, and he's been really helping me out a lot. He's been fixing my IMDb. IMDb is, I think it's the Independent Music Data something. It basically, if you want to know, like, oh, I love this television show, what's the name of the actor that plays this character? You can go to IMDb, search out the show, blah, blah, blah. So IMDb also tracks who wrote the music for things, who was the producer, who was the director, the light, yada, yada. The reason it's important for me is because I've placed a lot of songs in television and whatever, independent movies, and so IMDb now has me as a musician in IMDb. You can look me up and you'll see all of my placements. So Rex is the one who got all of that stuff going on. So I'm going to follow up with him because he said there was a few sync agents that he works with for his publishing company that he wanted to introduce to my catalog. So I have to follow up with him. I need to reintroduce myself to all my old contacts. That's the most daunting one. I've taken so many classes on sync placement and I've actually taught them. The industry changed so much that I went from teaching the classes to going back and studying it again because it's always evolving. And there's a very specific etiquette with sync placement. Like if a music supervisor is nice enough to say, yes, I will listen to this song of yours, you never, ever follow up, which is like the opposite of my intuition. My intuition would be like, give it a few weeks and just say, hey, just wondered what you thought. You can't do that because music supervisors are under such incredibly strict deadlines that they don't have time to deal with you. They don't care. They just want to know what you've got. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, if it works, you'll hear from them. If it doesn't, you're not going to hear anything, which is really hard when you are a person who's creative and you rely on validation, people to say, I like this song. And you send out all these songs and you never hear anything. It's a little soul crushing, but you have to have a thick skin if you're going to be in this game, right? And it is a game. So, okay, I need to figure out a way that's not a mass email. I don't want to do that because that's creepy and weird. I need to I need to basically look this up. This is going to have some of its own subtasks, okay? Um, it's going to be, audit my contact list and see where I left off with people, research what they're working on now. Okay, so those are good subtasks. And the reason I wrote those down is because if a music supervisor is currently working on a horror movie that's all thrash metal, there's pretty much nothing in my catalog that's going to be of interest to them. So I don't want to pop in and be like, hey, remember me? I see you're working on this horror show with all thrash metal, and I have nothing for you. But hi. That is the quickest way for them to just say, I never want to hear from you again. Hey, Sherry, thanks for joining. So there's an etiquette. And so that's what these subtasks are. I'm just, like I said, I'm spitballing here. I'm letting all the things come out. So those are subtasks of sync placement. What else can I do? What else I can do is look through my disco catalog and see what's fresh. Disco, if you know me, is the cataloging software that I use to keep track of all of my music. I write a song, I record it. John Masters mixes and masters it. It goes into disco so that I can then send it out to people. All right. So I feel pretty good about that. So that's the sync placement goal. It's got these master subtasks, and then this one has 3 subtasks. And these will probably have subtasks also, but again, the point of today, day 1, is not to overload myself to the point that my brain explodes. It's to just put it all out so that I can organize it and figure out how to do each thing. Okay, so there's my 6-month process. So, place a song with an artist. Okay, so here are some of the things. I currently have a non-exclusive publishing deal with a publisher in the UK called Ocelot. They're amazing. They're just wonderful people. And I get briefs almost every single day to the point where I've just created this folder in my email that I just put live briefs in. And I'm going to be really honest, I haven't looked at any of them in months because unless a brief comes through where I'm familiar with the artist, I just get very intimidated and overwhelmed because so much of the stuff that they're doing placement for is the Asian market, so K-pop, J-pop, and C-pop. It's high energy, a lot of rap. Usually not my wheelhouse unless I'm working with somebody else. But if I'm going to place a song, I need to start writing to some of these briefs. So I'm going to make a weekly task of weekly review of live briefs. And I know I have to do that. That's going to be discipline, man. I need to schedule that. So I'm just going to make it a thing right now. But I am going to schedule it, okay? And so once I do that, whoopsie, wrong one. once I do this, I want to open this up. Okay, I'm going to make subtasks. Once I review the weekly, decide if there is any one song I want to work on. Start pre-production. Put demo on Ocelot thread. Oops. Bad typer. On Ocelot. We have a WhatsApp thread with all the songwriters and producers to see if anyone wants to collab. The reason I do this, and this is not me being self-deprecating, this is me being really beautifully honest and authentic with you guys. I almost never sing the songs that I pitch through my publisher because I do not have that pop voice that the minute you hear it, you know it because you've heard it before. I'm not saying all pop singers sound the same. That's not what I'm saying. But there is like sort of this thread. There's this timbre. There's this way of pronouncing things. I say a lot of the pop singers these days, they like masticate their words. It's like, "Ow, ow." I don't do that. It just would sound stupid. So when I write for my publisher, I always seek out a collaborator, usually what's known as a top liner. So that means somebody who's this ridiculously, not only amazingly accurate singer, but they're also a top liner that can come up with a melody for the song. So I'll come up with the chords and the production and the vibe of the tune, and then I'll find a top liner and they'll go, yeah, I kind of hear this as a breakup song, and, I'm kind of hearing the vibe of, Dua Lipa. What do you think? Yes, let's do it. And then we collaborate virtually. I'm here in my studio, and most of the time this past year, I worked with somebody in Bali and I worked with somebody in London, just to give you an idea, which I think is one of the beautiful things of technology because I was able to do that. So how cool is that? Okay. So put the demo on the and then, once the demo is there, that will become its own project because it'll be like, okay, I'm now working on this song. It's not going to go in this 6-month plan. It's going to become its own entity with its own subtask, yada, yada. Okay. So that's one of the things I can do. The other thing is I can ask my community, which is you, who a song might work for. So you hear me sing during my live streams each week, right? So if you hear a song, a lot of times people will say, that should be in a movie. Thank you. I wish I could just go like that and poof, it would be in a movie. Really not how it works, but that's okay. But what I would love is if you guys would say, I could hear so-and-so singing a version of this song. And then what I would do is find a singer who sounds like that person and then do some research to find out who represents them. How can I get a song to them? So these are ideas. I see a typo. I know this is my OCD. Don't judge me. I have to fix it or else it makes my head explode. Okay. So I broke down some ideas on how I can place a song. I'm going to leave it for now because we don't want Marci's head to explode. We want Marci's head to stay intact on her shoulders. Okay. 6-month project. Open it up again. Okay. So master task. The other one, see what it did? It made all the master tasks their own thing. That's not what I wanted. All right, I'm not going to make you watch me fix this, but I think I have to make them daily tasks. So like this should have all the subtasks and it doesn't. So I'll fix that later. Do you want to see how I fix it? I don't know. Maybe I should show how I fix it. Okay. So, um, let's see. Let's go here. Ask my community was part of this. So I'm going to reprioritize. Should I edit it? Okay. So, no. Oh, there is a parent task. Okay. Huh. It just looks weird. I don't know. Maybe I should change it to a daily task. I don't know. Stop. You're going to change the name. Boop. Can I reprioritize it? It just put it up higher. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. I don't want to get bogged down on this. It's silly. But moving forward, all right. So we did place a song with an artist, and we did get a sync placement, which also needs to be reprioritized. I'm going to put these up at the top. So let's do this. Let's do this, and let's do this, so at least everything is prioritized correctly. And then the last thing is grow my Patreon. Come on, go up. There we go. Okay. This is the hardest one. I'm going to be honest. Like, obviously, I'm not going to magically manifest Patreon members. I'm going to keep live streaming. That was one of my ideas. What was the other idea I was going to have about growing it? I don't know. It's like coming up with incentives that would make it worthwhile for somebody to tune in there and to get all the insider behind the scenes stuff that I don't generally share on social. Well, I share it, but like smaller snippets, which maybe, I don't know, maybe you like that. I don't know. I have to think on this one because this has been something that I know I need to do, but haven't quite figured out where to go with it. What I did want to do was go back to, I captured some ideas this morning, and I want to see if there was something I was supposed to share with you guys. Okay. Data. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, my biggest issue, the biggest rub and friction that I've been having with social media and why I sort of stepped away was because I took these marketing trainings, I took all these courses, I worked with a coach, and I implemented the strategies, and it just felt like a strategy. I'm just being really honest. I'm not judging anybody who's really methodical with their strategies and they're happy with what they're able to accomplish. I kind of believe that when you are a creative person creating music, whatever you're creating, and you want to build a community, I hate audience. Audience is like, yeah, I'm going to target you, and there's going to be a hook, and then there's going to be a payoff. It just feels icky to me, for me personally. I want to build a community of people who enjoy what I put out there, whether it's music or me talking to you like I am today, and want to become part of that community. So I do need to post. If you don't post content, nobody finds you. You just disappear. So I've been coming up with ideas of what I could post that would feel authentic and that I would feel would be purposeful. So one of the ideas I came up with was to share a moment of joy. What's making me happy? And I'll be honest, I kind of stole it from Amy Poehler's Good Hang, because she does that with all of her guests. She always asks people at the end of the podcast interview, like, what are you doing to laugh? What are you doing to feel good? And I want to share a moment of joy each week with you guys, because that will be real. I am an optimist, so I believe that there will truly be at least one moment of joy each week that I can share with you. And I already know what I'm going to share with you this week. I just have to plot out when I'm going to do it. I think I'll probably do it on Friday because it's like the end of the work week for people who have, regular Monday through Friday jobs. And I mean, do you think that's a good way? Or maybe I should do it on a Monday because, nah, I think Monday is going to be a check in. All right. So let's do some subtasks, and this time we're going to make them daily. So I'm going to do a weekly check-in where I'm going to come live like I am today and kind of give you a status update of what I was able to accomplish during the week and where I'm at. And then I'm going to do share something funny or joyful each week. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and schedule this because that's bold. So that's today. So today is my very first weekly check-in. And I'm going to make it repeat each Monday. I'm going to make it repeat weekly. That's it. I just have to put weekly. Let's see. So, weekly check-in. It's repeating on a week, and I wanted to. What was I? See, if I don't say it right away, my brain just goes blip, and it disappears. What was the other thing I was going to say to you guys? Weekly check-in. I don't know. Weekly check-in is this, and I'm doing it. So after I finish, I'm going to put it as done. I'm not going to do it at 1 in the afternoon. I'm probably going to do it around 11 a.m. 11 a.m. each week. Okay. And yes, I want to change that for all future. So now what happens is when I go to next Monday, it will be on next Monday. And I'm also going to do something that I find really helps me. I'm going to put it on my calendar because putting things on a calendar sort of sets me up for like what my day looks like. Because a lot of times I'll come up with like a million things that I think I can accomplish in one day. And then when I actually schedule them on the OpusOne calendar, I go, and I get heart palpitations. So that's something I need to do in order to care for myself. So weekly check-in, something joyful, is going to happen on Friday. And I'm going to share it. I'm going to put the same time. I could always judge that. And I'm going to repeat it weekly. So when I go to Friday this week, you're going to see it pop up. So here, I'm going to show you something. So that's done. Okay. Good. Okay, it's part of this project. Good. Okay, so I'm going to close this for a minute. I want you to focus over here, and I realize if you're on Instagram, you're probably not seeing all of this. So here's the calendar. Oops. You see all my stupid stuff. Too much stuff. Anyway, if you look at my calendar, you'll see now on Friday, share something joyful. So I'm going to schedule that at 11 a.m. I'm also removing this. Okay, cancel. I'm going to delete this, and I'm deleting it forever. It doesn't matter. It's a new thing that Patreon came up with, which is called a quip. And I just don't want to schedule those. I want them to happen organically. So here's what I do want to do, though. It's not personal. It's music related. So it goes on this calendar, and it also gets repeated every week. So now it's going to show up on my calendar also. Isn't that cool? Oh, look, Joe's coming to tune the piano tomorrow. Okay, so right now, I did rehearse already. That's done. The live streams are getting moved to Tuesday, so I need to do this. All future. Boop. All future. And then this also is all future. This is what it takes to do a live stream. I have to there's so much tech. Okay. What was the other thing I was going to say to you guys? Oh, that's the other thing I have planned. And I don't know why it's. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Wednesday at 9 a.m., I actually have a coaching call with my really wonderful friend Mike McDermott. A lot of you know him. He's in Scotland. He was one of the founders of Ocelot, the publishing company I'm signed to. He's branched off and started his own new organization that's really, really cool. It's basically a haven for songwriters, and it's called the Craft House. And he offered these free coaching calls for anybody like myself who's stuck, who's trying to figure out like next moves, what to do. So I'm going to meet with him for a private one-on-one coaching call, and I asked him if I could video it so I could share some of it with you. I haven't heard from him yet. If he says no, then I'll just like come and do my own little video and give you a kind of recap of it. So that's happening this Wednesday. Tonight, well, actually this afternoon, he's doing a song review. And I just haven't had time to like think of a song that I want to put out into the Songcraft group and ask for feedback on. I can get rid of these. I'm seeing my face stare. And if you're on one of the landscape oriented things, I'm just moving it to trash because it's annoying me. Okay. Sorry. Squirrel. It's like birds, everything, distraction. Okay, back to focus. Okay, so it is 12 o'clock. I think what I'm going to do is jump off and listen to some of my songs that I have in process that I haven't finished yet. Pick one, submit it to Mike, see if it's not too late, and then I'm going to do the song eval at 3:30 this afternoon. Okay? So this is, go back to this so that you can see it. Here it is. My 6-month plan. Here are my master tasks. These first 3 are the goals. I'm on a mission, my friends. I need to figure out what days I'm going to do things, because my real struggle, and I'll just leave this with you because maybe somebody has some advice or input. The struggle that I have is that I have a difficult time with switching brains. All right, let me see if that I can make that make sense for you. That if I'm doing admin stuff, for example, I'm looking at my contacts that I've worked with in the past or that I've known from the past for sync, and that's like a very admin kind of thing to do. What I struggle with is switching gears and then creating, because ultimately, the ultimate goal is to make more music. I figured out I've got over 100 unrecorded songs. Songs that I wrote, that I did a quick demo of the day that I wrote it, and then I never did anything further with it. And if you're looking to play songs with other artists, if you're looking to get sync placements, you need to keep your catalog fresh. You need, and just from a perspective of somebody who sees themselves as an artist, I need to continually be creating, because I share my recordings with my Patreon community, and then I share it with my social media and my newsletter community. So I need to figure out a way to transition from the person doing the administrative stuff or the social stuff or the content creation or, like speaking, doing the live stream, and being able to also keep my creative soul alive and nourished. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you are a creative person and you've figured out a magic way, share. I am all ears. If you struggle with it also, share. Because maybe if enough of us speak up about it, like somebody will say, hey, I figured out how to do it all, and I'm this huge success, and look at me. I'm ready. I don't have a team. I don't have parents anymore who can float me for 6 months. It's all on me. I don't even rely on my husband to support me financially. We've just never had that arrangement. I support myself financially, and we share our finances for mutual things like our home and our property taxes. Oh my God, we just paid our property taxes. um, all of those things we share, but we share equally. I don't have a manager. I don't have a producer. I don't have a booking agent. I don't have a promoter. I don't have a marketing person. I am all of the things for me. And so I am looking to figure out in these next 6 months. Maybe I'll stop trying one of the goals. Like maybe one of the goals will just, I'll be like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I don't know. I don't want to project negativity. I'm just being authentic that I may come out the end of the 6 months and go, okay, I need to find a day job and just make music for me. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. Right now, I'm looking to you for fuel, for optimism, for encouragement, for ideas. If you know somebody who's a music supervisor or a music editor in television or TV or movies, hey, would you make an introduction if you love what I do? If you are somebody who, knows people that you think might want to join my Patreon, share, please. If you are somebody who knows somebody who manages a really big artist, or you are friends or related to a really big artist, and you think like maybe an introduction would help me on my journey, I'm open. If you are really, really wealthy and you want to help support this, bring it. I am in the mode of receiving. I am in the mode of receiving, creating my life's work and sharing it with as many people as possible, and hopefully inspiring a few people and letting us all know that we're not really alone, that we do have a community. That's my intention. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. I love you all. You make my world work. And I thank you for that. And I am a little emotional because this is a lot. It's a lot. It's a huge undertaking. But I can do it. I'm going to break it down and break it down further and go from macro to micro. And I'm going to check things off. And you're going to watch me do it. And we're going to make stuff happen. Okay? I love you.